Morning, and welcome to Desert Water Mushroom Rock Channel. My name is Zach. We are at Sky Island Mushroom Farm, and I really wanted to, get something off my chest. It's kind of like a rant. Um, it's just a really concerning thing I'm seeing when I'm perusing YouTube, watching other, larger farms, mushroom videos, kind of trying to see what they've done to scale up. And I've noticed. So I was watching a video today. It was put on my list. Guy grows 700 pounds of mushrooms a week in shipping containers or something in North Carolina. And I'm like, okay, I hate shipping containers, but let's see his setup. Let's see what he's doing. And he's growing, lion's mane and maitake and oysters and all the kind of stuff I grow, and he says he grows a lot of shiitakes. And that caught my attention because I grow a little bit of shiitakes, and it's a lot of work. And I'm trying to figure out, how is this guy, who says that he didn't know anything about mushrooms, and now he's, selling 700 pounds a week, growing so many shiitakes with all of this other stuff, right? Shiitakes have their own process. They use a different recipe for their substrate. They take a long time to colonize. These guys have been here for 3 months. So my point to this whole thing is if you grow in bags like this, like I'm growing all of my stuff, like just about everybody else who's growing commercially grows in bags in the US, they look like this. Or they could be a little bit bigger. They make one size up. These are 5.5, 6 pound blocks. And they make a bag that you can put at least 10 pounds in. But this is what a shiitake block would look like before it's opened. If you grow them like you would grow oysters or lion's mane and everything else, the same process, right? And what you'll see is if you go look at these videos, you see all these shiitake blocks that are long. They look like logs, right? They look like fake logs, like if you were to take this bag before it colonized and squish it all down, maybe, and turn it into a log, you could make it look like that. The question is why? And there's a thing that happens in our today's world economy where you can order fake logs, sawdust spawn logs, inoculated with shiitake already, straight from China. And they load them onto a shipping container, fill the shipping container completely up with these logs that have just been inoculated, and they take a really slow trip across the ocean where they colonize. When they reach the US shores, they go through customs as a wood product. It's not a food product. So there's zero tests they do on it. Nothing. They don't check for heavy metals, radiation, anything. Nothing. Now the companies, any company, anybody, any person can buy this, right? I could buy this. And you bring these in, you get them shipped to your house, your farm, and you put them in the fruiting room, and they grow mushrooms. That's all you had to do. You just had to put them in the fruiting room, unwrap and put them in the fruiting room. They're already colonized. They took months to get over here on the boat in the shipping container. Now, when you harvest those mushrooms, those shiitake mushrooms that came from those shiitake blocks from China, legally, you get to say, locally grown. Grown in USA. Locally grown wherever you're from. Right? Pretty cool. So these mushrooms, these shiitake mushrooms, are basically the same Chinese shiitake mushrooms that you could buy at the say Asian market or anywhere else, prepackaged, because it's all coming from the same source. It's a little concerning to me because these people never say that. They seem to imply that they're doing it all on their own, and it's a little disheartening because I have, I guess, heard from very credible other sources in the mycology industry that when mushrooms come across from China, ready to eat mushrooms, already harvested, they constantly fail for heavy metals and contaminants that they test for food products, right? The U.S. does test the food that comes in, but they don't test sawdust that comes in. Why would you? So before I get too long-winded, the point is if you are watching a video or if you ever see a mushroom farm that has these long, skinny shiitake blocks that have like a few shiitakes growing on them, and when you look around all the rest of their bags, their oysters and their lion's mane and their maitakes, they're all growing out of this bag, you should ask, I guess, I did, but you should probably expect that those are from China, and that I would not ever recommend eating something that has come out of China with zero testing or regulation. It's just kind of a safe rule of thumb. But that is how people are growing shiitakes and selling them for so cheap. Those are the shiitakes you're finding in Whole Foods or the grocery store that's close to you, or whatever your fancy grocery store is, because they're buying mushrooms from one of the U.S. companies that is getting shiitakes blocks shipped in, and then they're being fruited so that they can be claimed legally, 100% legally, it's totally legitimate based on our current regulation, that they are locally grown American mushrooms, and they don't have to tell you anything. And so it's just a FYI. It's you don't know what you don't know. I know a couple of these tricks that some of the big farmers are doing, and it's really disheartening to see it continue. I was hoping that people would see that this was not a good idea to provide untested, potentially harmful, not necessarily, but potentially, we don't know. When I grow my mushrooms, I know where all my stuff comes from. I mean, from spore to fork, I know it all. And I'm completely confident I'd give it to anybody. No questions asked. Anybody could test it. I'm 100% confident I know exactly what's in that mushroom. But if I was getting blocks from China, I would not know. And I can't, from my heart, provide something that has any question about it to my community. Especially because mushrooms are usually eaten more by people who have some kind of health issue, or would like to be more healthy, right? Mushrooms are a health food, and the idea that you could have a health food that somebody may, even with a bad immune system or some kind of sickness, who's eating mushrooms to try to get more healthy, that mushroom could actually be hurting them. That's bad for everybody. That's bad for that person. It's bad for the farmer. It's bad for mushrooms in general, because if somebody gets, sick or something from one of these, Chinese contaminated mushrooms, it's gonna put this bad reputation on everybody, as if we're all using Chinese mushrooms, and we're not. So I was just asking your farmer, if they're small or huge, you make your own shiitake blocks? It's an absolutely fair question. So with that, go find yourself some good mushrooms to eat. It's Saturday. I'm going to a lavender festival today across the valley. Support our other local farmers, and I'll be talking to you real soon. Don't let this put a damper on your day. And Desert Water Mushroom Rock. Have a good day.